crimes of moral turpitude or whatever he did. The thing is, if you're going to challenge a law or an ordinance, you might want to make sure you have good standing. Like what they did up in New Paltz with the gay marriages. They made a big issue of gay marriages. Turned out it didn't matter. They never got a license. So they didn't really challenge the gay marriage issue at all because they didn't bother to get a marriage license, so it wasn't a real thing, right? So if you want to, I'm actually, glad my school district didn't show it. I don't think the president, we elect the school board. They're elected officials, and they make the decisions in their school district, and they make those decisions and delegate it to the principals and the teachers. So the president shouldn't have any say in it. I don't think someone from another town who just has an issue would have any say in it.
Okay.
And it should really be up to the parents for things of that nature, like political announcements.
Okay. There's a couple of things that can't be conflated here or confused. One is there's a separate issue, whether or not I had a right to protest and whether or not.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing that you had the right to
protest. So just to avoid the getting, you agree, what you seem to be challenging is based on what you call standing, and that only someone from Goshen should be allowed.
Well, you have a message, so, rather than just arrest the guy and make an issue of this ordinance, let's talk about the message.
Let's talk about this. Let's deal with one thing at a time. Let's talk about the standing. Do I should only people with children in the school in the school district be allowed to voice opinions on the public street about that school district? I'd say resoundingly and emphatically no. The public schools, the whole reason why everyone pays for public schools and why we have public schools is because there's a public interest involved. It's not merely the interest of parents and their kids, but we recognize that we have a collective interest in providing our kids with an education, so that schools are public institutions. They're not just publicly funded institutions solely for the purposes of fulfilling the needs of a particular set of parents and their kids. That's number one. It's publicly funded. The schools receive federal and state funds, so I'm paying for every school, including Goshen School. But beyond that, what we had here was, at least I think most people would agree, was an issue that transcended the school district's authority to control the course of events in the classroom. And by the way, school boards are not supposed to be micromanaging day-to-day events such as the decision whether or not to show a presidential speech. I don't think that's the purpose of a school board. They have to do more with hiring superintendents and general governance. I think it becomes micromanaging when they start making decisions like the content of a study, and certainly Obama's speech could have been presented in that context, at least in social studies classes, certainly, and probably even throughout K through 12.
Did the school districts make this decision, or was it?
Well, the school districts made the decision. The superintendents made the decision. School boards didn't really, at least as far as I know, didn't directly make this decision for a couple of reasons. One is school boards meet once a month. They wouldn't have had time, I think, to have made such a decision. They usually have to make such a decision twice at public meetings. So there was, but beyond that, school boards don't micromanage the content of the study or the daily activities of the schoolroom. That's the teachers, the principals, and the superintendents. Now, I think they made a bad decision. You might think they made a good decision. Okay, that's a separate argument. Focusing again on what I was doing on that street corner in Manhattan, I don't think I needed any standing. I think I needed kids in the district. I don't think I need to be a resident of Goshen. I think all I need to be is a guy with an opinion, a magic marker, and a sign. It's clumsy, it's ugly. Sometimes guys like me are going to, upset you, and you might say, why does it mean?
Well, you weren't even aware of this ordinance when you showed up.
No.
So
I'd be curious
can
to
go
know
there
this
as
is
a
posted on the signs as you enter the town.
you can
Well,
go there
Sort of like surrender your arms at the fire.
Well, first of all, just as logistically, there was no time. I mean, I left Newburgh 45 minutes before I got here.
That's the disadvantage of this ordinance. Is that
Well, I
you
think
have
it's
to know.
beyond that.
Well, there's a lag time though. I mean, you're not
Right,
going to get
there's
your permit the same day that you apply.
Well, see, the word permit, let me just say, even the word permit,
I agree.
so if someone can give you permission, they can deny you permission. Otherwise, what's the sense of it? If it's just a rubber stamp, then what's the
Once we get back to the timing of it, the fact is that this speech was timed on the first day of school for my daughter, so I didn't have any opportunity to go to the school for or against this. It was on with the first day of school. It was timed for the first day of school. And when you look at Obama's message, there was something I did disagree with. I don't believe the students owe their country anything by going to school. They're forced to go to school. We owe them a future worth living. And he was trying to tell the kids to do good in school, but if you don't do good in school, you're letting your country down. And I found that almost fascist in a way. Now, some people believe that if you oppose Obama's speech for the schools here this month, that you're anti-Obama or you think he's a commie. I personally think he's a fascist. I think he's a war criminal, just like Bush. He's putting 40,000 more troops in Afghanistan. He's a Wall Street stooge, just like Bush.
goes on and on?
Yeah, it goes on and on. He's very, very little different from Bush. And, so all the factors that come into the polemics of it, it's just, if he was Reagan or if he was Carter or whatever, I'd want to see what the guy's going to tell my kid, because all these politicians do have agendas. And for my kid, at the age of 7, to be told, well, if you don't do good in school, you're letting the country down, if you don't do your very best. It's almost like he's trying to set them up for the trillions of dollars of debt that they're going to inherit when they have bailouts. Bush and Obama and all of them. I'd rather just be the teacher and maybe the principal. If you want to have.
Well, okay. Let me.
I mean, people do come.
Bennett, would you like another glass of water?
No. I'm good.
And you're warm enough, are you?
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay.
This is great. Okay.
Which is a different issue from you getting arrested.
Okay. You had a concern that he would be propagandizing, pushing an agenda.
Well, he didn't. He had a great message. I at the end, I sat down with my daughter and watched it anyway.
Okay, but he was, I believe, 12 minutes. Your kid will be in school 180 days, approximately 5 hours a day, about 12,000 hours. Okay, so it's really there's so much time to contextualize what you said, to discuss it. What did you agree? What did you disagree with? I think there was cause for alarm over the